captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. Later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
The Fitzgerald is the Titanic of the Great Lakes. And I think it is the Titanic of the Great Lakes specifically because of Gordon Lightfoot. Okay, he wrote the song. That song traveled the world, and there was a time when the whole world knew about the Edmund Fitzgerald. As the younger people and pups come up, maybe not so much. If Gordon Lightfoot would have wrote a song about the Bradley, the Carl D. Bradley, or the Daniel J. Morrell, I believe then that ship would have, became the Titanic of the Great Lakes. Mm-hmm. But he wrote a song about the Fitzgerald. He immortalized this story and traveled the world because of his words and the ballad.
Would you mind, Terry, if I told a story about Gordon Lightfoot here? Here's my version of what we heard from him. His name is Mike Fornes, I guess his name is.
Mike Fornes.
Okay. Memorial service up at Whitefish Point last 15 years, he has sang the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And he said, and folks back home, this is really heavy, folks, pay attention, please. He said he was setting his equipment up and he got a tap on his shoulder, and there's a lady standing there, and she said, identified herself as Ruth Hudson's niece. And she said, hey, Ruth, he can't make it. She's sick. And
this
she
is
asked,
up for the official bell ringing at Whitefish Point.
Yeah, right.
This guy knew it, Gordon Lightfoot.
Right.
Mike Fornes.
Right, that is correct. The story he told was that as he was setting up, this lady comes up and identified herself and said, Aunt Ruthie can't make it. And she's asked me to ask you, would you please ring the bell for her son? And of course, he was honored to do so, of course so. And here's where the rubber hits the road, folks. At the end of pay attention, folks, please. At the end of the ceremony, there's a dozen of them or so standing around talking, and somebody gets the idea. Let's call Aunt Ruthie and say, hope you're feeling better, this kind of stuff. And everybody got like 15 seconds. Aunt Ruthie, hope you're feeling better. See you next year. Next person, hey, how you doing? Get better. All done, get ready to hang up, and here comes Gordon Lightfoot. We do want to talk to Ruth. She's on the phone, or she couldn't make it.
Ruth Hudson.
Yeah.
The mother of Ruth Hudson, who went down with the ship.
And he says, sure. He didn't get 15 seconds with her. He walked off. He got 6, 7, 8 minutes. And he came back and he gave the phone to his niece, because they'd hung up. And they're talking about how great it was to talk to Ruthie. And 5 minutes later, that phone rings. And she goes, it's Aunt Ruthie. She's calling back. It was the nurse in that hospital. She got done talking to everybody in Gordon Lightfoot, and she put that phone down on her chest and died. Just like that. Now, I'm getting goosebumps just telling you that story, because, once again, there's a lot of weird things have gone on with the Edmund Fitzgerald, from the launch when the guy has a heart attack, and you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But to talk to her, and the last person she talks to on this planet is Gordon Lightfoot.
And she was the mother that went to Gordon Lightfoot and say that line in your song.
Right.
7 p.m. the main hatchway caved in. My son was in charge of those hatches. She took issue with that, and Gordon Lightfoot took it to heart and changed the lyrics of the song.
But it ain't, like you say, most people know the original version.
I know that, but he did the right thing.
Yeah, he did. But then again, see, he might have been in charge of the deck crew, but the captain of that ship was in charge of the entire ship, see? And I'm telling you what, if they had serious issues, he should have said, we're not leaving until these things get fixed. But unfortunately, some companies will go, you either leave the dock or we're going to find somebody else that will lay the dock, you know?
Absolutely. That went on a lot.
Darn right.
I don't know that it still does, but...
Well, I thought that was the most interesting story. Hey, you know how there's similarities between... like the Kennedy assassination and the Lincoln assassination. Lincoln's secretary's name was Kennedy, and Kennedy's secretary's name was Lincoln. You know, the Mariners Church, they rang the bell 29 times for each man in the Edmund Fitzgerald. It was founded in 1849 by a woman named Julia Ann Anderson. Heavy business here, folks. I'm telling you.
Have you ever been to the?
Yeah. That's where I had my picture taken with Gordon Lightfoot there. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was up north at Whitefish.
No, that was at the Mariners Church. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a cool story that goes with the Mariners Church, because at one of the bell ringing celebrations, Gordon Lightfoot's lying in a musty old hall in Detroit. They prayed. The minister of the church came up to him at the bell ring and said, "You know, Gordon, you should visit our church sometimes. It's really not all that musty." And I think he even changed the words on that. I mean, he really took the feelings of the family members.
He was a
and the
caring
people
person. He really was.
Who were so afflicted by this tragedy. He really took it all to heart. He did all the right things to make it memorialized with a beautiful ballad, but he did adjust his words over the years to accommodate the families, and I think that speaks a lot for Gordon Lightfoot.
We ask your blessing on us as we gather this night to recall and honor the merchant mariners serving upon the SS Edmund Fitzgerald at the time of her fateful voyage, and who have been committed to the deep of Lake Superior. We ask that you receive our prayers on behalf of the souls of your servants who are now in the fellowship of your saints. We further ask your blessings upon those who offer this tribute in honor of those for whom the bell tolls. O Lord God, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen.
When they left fully loaded for Cleveland, okay, so we got that wrong. You know, they were going to Zug Island in Detroit to unload their iron ore, their taconite steel pellets. We know that. I heard that Gordon Lightfoot, when he was canoeing up in Canada, when this first happened, he read a press releases, and as press releases come out on tragedies, they're not all right off the bat till the facts start coming out. And I think he read a press release that said the boat was bound for Cleveland. So he took that as fact and put it in the song, because he wrote this song fast. Anyway, that's wrong in the song, but that's okay. I think he got that from a press release. That's what I believe.
All right. Try and rhyme Zug Island with something. Not fully loaded for Zug Island. It loses something in the translation, I think. You know?
I guess. Yeah, maybe it was a rhyme thing. I don't know, but I just like the way Gordon Lightfoot handled the tragedy from start to finish. From the minute he put those words down on paper in that beautiful ballad he wrote, to right on through as he dealt with and kept close relationships with these family members over the decades. I mean, him and Ruth Hudson were in touch all the way through, as he was with a lot of the family members. You met and talked and had conversations with
He
Gordon
remembered me
Lightfoot.
when I first met him.
So,
He remembered my name. How, after 20 years, how do you, if you'll put my name for this year and next, because no Walton's been up there yet over this whole time. It just hasn't worked out. I says, I'm gonna,
Who rings for your uncle, Grant Walton?
Well, they pull somebody from the
They
crowd,
assign
I
it
guess.
to somebody, okay.
I said,
Ralph G. Walton, oiling.
but I'm getting older and my health is precarious. I would love to make it this year, and but could you put my name down for this year and next year? That way it's reserved, And if I can't make it this year, then you have to get somebody else.
Can anyone attend that ceremony, or do you have to be affiliated?
Family members.
Okay, so
it used to be open to the public, but it got to the point where family members couldn't even park. It was so jammed they couldn't even get nowhere near the place. So now it's family members only, but they do live stream it.
I know, but if I made the trip up, I won't necessarily get
well, if
to
I
it.
go, well, if I can talk, I know Chris wants to go, so we'll all go together, and that'd be all right if that would work out,
For the 50th, for sure.
Once you get up there, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. This is God's country here, buddy, and I mean, there ain't...
I want to take time in the Sioux Locks. I want to do a lot of different things.
Well, I'll know in the next couple of weeks how that's going to work out. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And if they got to carry me on the stretcher, if I don't make this one, I will make the 50th. Somebody's got to represent. Some Walton's got to represent this.
I think so.
I think it's only fitting, and
I think you're the guy for the
and
job.
I'm going to ask the guy. I says, I'm not going to cause no trouble at all. I won't do that. But when this is over and everybody's just standing around, I want your permission to let me go up and ring the bell for my dad.
30th, for the 30th.
Yeah. I won't do,
member.
I mean, I could get up there and go bang, bang twice, and then,
You don't want to do that.
No.
You want to get permission to go in later.
I would only do it with permission. That's right.
Is there anything else on the Fitzgerald you wanted to put out there? I mean, we can meet again before the season's done, so no panic here, but is there anything else that's jumping out at you?
Well, I'm hoping to dig more crew members up. I mean, that's not the right way to say that, is
No.
it? Have them come out of the closet. No, they don't want to come out of the closet either. No. I'm getting in big trouble here.
Yes, you are.
All right, let me rephrase that. I would hope they would let themselves be known to us, okay? And
Yeah, we want to sit down with some of the crew members that sailed on the Fitzgerald, all the while knowing there's not very many left. So, but if there are, we'd be grateful for the opportunity. I think that's what you're getting at.
I would sure like to clear my conscience if I was in that seat, if I knew things. And listen, folks, if everybody's scared about lawsuits, that's long since passed. There ain't even a Columbia Transportation no more. All the participants are long since dead. Oglebay Norton's still in business, but they don't have a maritime division that I know of. I don't know.
Why did Columbia go out of business?
You really want to know?
I do want to know.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now. And this is straight from Mike Cap's fleet captain of Columbia. Remember, he was captain of Columbia Star. You interviewed him with Macos.
Tony Pacos.
Tony Pacos. I almost said Macos. Tony Pacos. This is a story he told me because I asked him the same question at the shipmasters meeting. He said they hired a CEO to run Columbia Transportation Company. And he just so happened to own, like up at Stoneport, up there, you know, where they got where they haul all the stone and stuff by Rogers City. What is that? Is it calcite up there? Whatever it is. He owned them. So he says, I'll tell you what, I'll run this show for you, but you buy these stone quarries off of me. And you get rid of the middleman. That way, exclusive, you know, you don't have to pay the middleman. You'll make all this money. Made perfect sense, except for one very important thing. There was a serious economic downturn, and a lot of construction stopped what they needed the stone for. And now they're losing their butt, and they don't know what they're going to do. And so the guy goes, I'll tell you what, now, don't hold me to this. I don't know if they paid $100 million for it or not, whatever. Let's just use that as an arguing point. Oglebay buys them for $100 million. They're going down because they just don't have the business. It's a downturn. Their land ships up. He goes, I'll buy them back off you for like $20 million. So they lost like $80 million on the deal. And they never did recover. And they had to sell the ships. They went out of business. The American, is it the Century? It was the old Columbia Star, I think. Now she's still, a lot of these 1,000-footers are still out to the Oglebay Norton, still sailing. And the Reserve, I think, has been turned into a composite unit. I mean, they cut the engine off and put a tugboat back there on the thing now.
The Homer's gone. The
Yeah,
sister ship to the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Been gone for a long time.
Right.
And that's after they spent, I mean, geez, they spent millions to lengthen the hull on this thing, you know. And they lay the boat up, after 2 years, because it was obviously, they had serious problems, and they never sailed her again, and they scrapped her out. And that was the sister ship of the Fitzgerald. Built at the same place.
The home.
Great Lakes Engineering Works, yeah, right there in Detroit. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, you know. There's so many. Big businesses, there's some good, honest people, then there's some slippery people. And for that guy to put an $80 million hit, in my opinion, he should have said, let's ride this out. You know, I've got a gazillion dollars, so we'll keep everybody working, but oh no, I'll back off you for $20 million, and I quit as a CEO. You know, he's laughing all the way to the bank. Meanwhile,
John H. McCarthy, first mate. Ransom E. Cundy, watchman. William J. Spangler, watchman. Bruce L. Hudson, maintenance. David E. Weiss, cadet. Carl A. Heckel, watchman. Paul M. Ripa, maintenance. Oliver J. Champeau, third assistant engineer. All mariners lost at sea.